Campus police send a warning about sexual assault.
And robots take over the Jones Center on a Saturday afternoon.
These stories and more up next on Carolina News Today.
Carolina News Today is brought to you in part by the Wing Company of Pembroke, serving award-winning wings fresh, not frozen. Live entertainment weekly, 703 West 3rd Street in Pembroke. 10% discount for students and teachers every day. TheOriginalWingCo.com.
Campus police have issued a warrant for a suspect in a sexual assault. Friday, they had warned the campus about a filing incident that was reported at the UC Annex. They said a man who appeared to be Native American in a khaki baseball cap and black jeans groped a female student in a bathroom. Within hours, campus police reported they had pulled an image from surveillance video and later obtained a positive identification of the suspect.
Monday, campus police reported 7 personal vehicles on campus had been entered unlawfully overnight. After reviewing surveillance footage, they determined the suspects had been snooping around unlocked cars around properties including courtyard apartments. The Town of Pembroke Police Department helped identify the 3 suspects in the video based on a recent traffic stop. UNCP's Chief McDuffie Cummings reminds students to lock their vehicles, completely close windows and sunroofs, and store belongings out of sight.
The university staged a health and wellness fair in the University Center to inform students and inspire them to be more health conscious. Organizers say one purpose was to bring many related services and resources together in one place.
So this is the Health and Wellness Fair. We put it on once a year in March from the Health and Wellness Committee. So that's student health services, counseling and psychological services, campus recreation, and Sodexo all put it on. So the purpose is to bring both on-campus and off-campus organizations that prioritize student health and wellness to one central hub for students to utilize. We have fitness demos, free snacks, free samples, lots and lots of really good resources all pertaining to health and wellness.
The importance of the Health and Wellness Fair is to provide students with resources and to educate them on different organizations across campus. Also, it's open to the community so that we can have community members come out because wellness is such an important part of life.
As a student, this is important to us because obviously you know we're overwhelmed with classes and extracurricular activities such as playing sports, volunteering, internships, working, and whatever else you may be involved with. So coming here and getting information on exercising, sleep, the importance of sleep, stress awareness, and all other aspects so to keep us healthy as college students.
I think realistically all the resources that we're offering and connecting them with outside organizations and the resources that they have on this campus is really, really beneficial.
Last week, we told you about the Carolina Poison Center investigating an increase in emergency room visits linked to potentially contaminated cannabidiol. Now, a shop owner in Mooresville has been arrested and charged with allegedly passing off an illegal drug as a vape product. Police say a student at Mooresville High School entered the store wanting to purchase vape oil. The vape shop's owner allegedly gave him Schedule I drugs instead, and the student overdosed. One of the chemicals found in the oil is known to have side effects such as hypertension, violent behavior, and seizures. It has also been linked to sudden death. The store owner faces felony charges and is held in Iredell County Jail on a $75,000 bond.
Hundreds of high school students swarmed the UNCP campus Saturday for a robotics competition. As you'll see, these young people had an impressive grasp of the technology, and they have aspirations to make their mark at the state and national level.
Graduating seniors in the art department have staged their final show in the AD Gallery and had a reception to kick off the exhibit. Entitled The Rise, the show features ceramics, paintings, and digital media from 6 students. An exhibition of multiple works from their college career is required to graduate. The works in this show revolve around themes including mental and physical disabilities, as well as the search for identity. The AD Gallery is located in Locklear Hall, and it's free and open to the public.
North Carolina Attorney General Josh Stein has announced a guilty plea in a Medicaid fraud case in Cumberland County. Barbara McDuffie of Fayetteville submitted false timesheets and medical service notes to the Autism Society of North Carolina for hours she didn't work. She was sentenced to 60 months of supervised probation, 48 hours of community service, and is required to pay back over $40,000 to the Autism Society.
Daylight saving time means everybody should use extra caution on the roads. And stranded motorists along I-95 can now dial star HP for assistance. It's NCDOT now.
Welcome to this week's edition of NCDOT Now. I'm Carly Oleksic. Students from all across the state recently looked to the sky for inspiration as part of the annual North Carolina Aviation Art Contest. A record 1,200 entries were submitted this year, representing 130 schools from across the state. The annual contest is sponsored by NCDOT's Division of Aviation to engage young people in aviation and aeronautics. This year's theme was Flight into the Future. This year's winners are Victoria Raggio from Charlotte in the Junior Division, Hong Suk Choi from Cary in the Intermediate Division, and Hyamnin Ra from Fayetteville in the Senior Division. Along with a certificate and recognition from the state, the top 3 entries in each age group will now be judged in the national competition and have the chance to compete internationally. For more information on the contest or aviation in our state, visit the Division of Aviation's website. With the sun now coming up later due to daylight saving time, it's important to remember to keep an eye out for pedestrians and bicyclists who may be hard to spot in the mornings. Drivers should look before backing up in parking lots or driveways and turn their headlights on for greater visibility. Pedestrians should only cross a street at an intersection or crosswalk. Wearing reflective clothing and carrying a flashlight will also help in making our roadways safe for those driving and walking or bicycling. Stranded drivers along Interstate 95 between the South Carolina line and Johnston County can now request help from the State Farm Safety Patrol by dialing star HP. The primary purpose of the patrols is to clear stalled vehicles that are slowing down traffic or pose a hazard on the highways. The Safety Patrol trucks have lighted arrow boards, warning lights, and supplies to quickly aid stranded drivers. The new service area will also cover Robeson and Cumberland counties. And that's all for this week's edition of NCDOT Now. As always, you can stay connected with us on Facebook and Twitter. That's at NCDOT. You can also follow us on Snapchat and Instagram at NCDOT.com. And from all of us at the North Carolina Department of Transportation, safe travels.
With the NC Promise tuition decrease right around the corner and the number of applicants up, UNCP is encouraging the best and brightest of applicants to consider the Honors College of their Pembroke experience.
The Esther G. Maynard Honors College at UNC Pembroke offers driven students an advanced learning community to live, learn, and grow together while on campus. Our scholars not only take specialized honors courses as part of their general curriculum, but also enjoy regular co-curricular events on and off campus with access to opportunities exclusive to Honors College members. Oak Hall is home to our living, learning community where honors students can live alongside each other on the first floor.
As an honors college student, I have the opportunity to study and learn along with other students in a very specialized curriculum.
The Honors College faculty instruct small seminar classes and encourage service learning activities.
As a student in the Honors College, I have access to all the facilities that the Honors College has to offer.
The Honors Program is driven by three very primary principles: opportunity, excellence, and advancement. These three principles drive everything that we do, and they're principles by which our students move through our curriculum, and by the time they leave, usually are more independent thinkers, more critical thinkers, more effective leaders, and better citizens.
Find out more about our Manor Honors College and our scholarships today.
A prison guard in North Carolina is recovering after a knife attack.
And a pit bull gets into a Charlotte school and terrorizes children.
We'll be right back after these messages.
A corrections officer is recovering after being stabbed by an inmate. It happened at Foothills Correctional Institution in Morganton. CNN News Source spoke with a former employee there who didn't want to appear on camera.
It's just nerve-wracking.
A brutal attack while on duty.
It could have been me when I was there. That's the life of an officer. You have to risk you to keep them in there.
I spoke to a former correctional officer who worked at the Foothills Correctional Institution in Morganton for more than a decade. The same place officials say a corrections officer was stabbed several times Saturday night.
I was shocked. That's a lot, but I know it can happen at the drop of a hat. It's not the first time assault's been done.
The names of the inmate and the officer involved have not been released. Officials have not said what led to the brutal attack, only that the inmate who attacked the officer is facing assault charges for stabbing the officer with a shank.
Those are very easy to come by in there. Toothbrush, sharpen it down on the concrete of their cell, use it for a shank. It's real easy to do.
This latest attack comes as the state is in the middle of trying to make prisons safer for employees. After inmates killed 5 workers last year, 12 new safety changes were made, including training workers to be more aware of their surroundings on the job. The state is also working to provide officers with more safety tools like pepper spray and tasers.
They need a lot more staff. Just Lord watch over them. They need all the help they can get working there.
Last fall, 4 employees were killed during an escape attempt at the Pasco Tank Prison, and prosecutors say they want the death penalty for an inmate accused of beating an officer to death at Bernie Correctional Institution last year.
A moment of silence was held Monday at Florida International University for the people killed in last week's pedestrian bridge collapse. The observance was held at 1:47 p.m., the time on Thursday when the bridge fell, crushing cars and killing 6 people. The bridge was still under construction and testing. It was intended to connect the FIU campus with a neighborhood that's home to 4,000 of its students. The students were on spring break when the accident happened, but were back Monday to observe the moment of silence.
Police in Charlotte don't know or aren't saying yet why a dog owner lost control or lost track of his pit bull, which then got into a school and bit 7 children. CNN News Source has the story.
But my daughter was one of the ones that I guess was at the door when it got into the school.
Shane Delaney's daughter witnessed that pit bull walk onto the playground at Lansdowne Elementary School.
So she was just saying that it was I guess, exciting and scary. She was very scared, trying to debate if she should run towards the school or run towards the playground.
Concerned about what could happen, teachers brought the kids inside, but somehow that blue and white pit bull named Bro managed to get inside too.
It started jumping on to the students, and it was biting some of the students.
Animal Care and Control says a total of 7 students were bitten and had minor injuries. Incident reports say the dog bit kids in the leg, the thigh, even the stomach. They say in most of the cases, the dog's teeth punctured the skin. Investigators say the dog was just a puppy and may have been overly excited. The owner of the dog is from Fayetteville and was visiting the area.
And I don't have any information about how he escaped, whether it was he got out of the fence, he got over the fence, he bolted out of the door. We do know that obviously he was in violation of the leash law.
Investigators say they tracked down the dog's vet and learned he's up to date on rabies vaccinations. Good news for the kids who were bitten, but parents say this serves as a warning to dog owners.
Make sure your dogs are in a secure area.
The owner says animal control in Fayetteville, where he lives, has taken his dog into a 10-day quarantine. They want to make sure it doesn't show any rabies symptoms. He wouldn't comment on why his dog was at the school and not in his care. Investigators say he could face charges or fines, not to mention civil lawsuits.
Bond was set at $3 million for a man accused of shooting in South Carolina early Sunday that injured 3 people. 22-year-old Arthur Jones Jr. was in court Monday. He's been charged with 3 counts of attempted murder and possession of a weapon during a violent crime. Jones was also ordered by the judge at his bond hearing to turn in all his firearms within 24 hours of being released and will be placed under GPS monitoring. The shooting incident happened around 2 a.m. Sunday in the 5 Points area of Columbia when the bars in the neighborhood were closing. Investigators say they worked through the night to identify Jones and believe he was the primary shooter. Police say Jones was involved in an argument with another person before allegedly shooting multiple times into a large crowd.
The suspect in the deadly bombings that terrorized Central Texas in recent weeks is dead. Investigators say 24-year-old Mark Anthony Condit blew himself up as police closed in. CNN News Source has more on this developing story.
A bombing spree rattling people in Texas came to an explosive conclusion. Investigators say they tracked a serial bombing suspect to a hotel outside of Austin. When the SWAT team approached, police say the 24-year-old man killed himself.
The suspect is deceased and has significant injuries from a blast that occurred from detonating a bomb inside his vehicle.
Since March 2nd, 5 package bombings killed 2 people and injured several others. Police say the suspect was skilled and made sophisticated devices. But what investigators don't know is why.
We do not understand what motivated him to do what he did.
President Trump tweeting, quote, "Austin bombing suspect is dead. Great job by law enforcement and all concerned." But investigators warn more bombs may be placed in the region.
We are concerned that there still may be other devices out there, and we want to make sure that if people see suspicious packages or bags, they continue to call 911 and report that to the police.
We will be here as long as it takes with our partners to figure out exactly what happened, why it happened, and how it happened.
A golfer turns her career around at Pembroke.
And local high school athletes shine on the national stage.
I'll be back with sports after these messages. Plagued by injuries, 18-year-old Maddie Corley's dreams of playing golf at the college level were jeopardized. She lost a spot on the golf team at UNC, so instead of starting college, she went to work for her grandfather. But a chance meeting with UNCP's Ashley Thompson led Corley back to life as a student athlete.
Hi, I'm Madison Corley, and I'm a 22-year-old freshman.
Being 22 years old and a freshman just seemed kind of scary.
Most likely the oldest in my class, but being more mature, I feel like has helped me grow.
Just that whole dynamic, I was afraid that it would be just really different and throw the whole team dynamics off, but it definitely has not. She has been a great addition to the team.
I was very excited about Maddie joining us because I thought she could possibly be a strong addition to the team. The age of a freshman really doesn't matter to me. They're still a freshman, whether they're 18 or 25.
Maddie being older, she has a lot more wisdom about the game of golf, and so I'm constantly asking her, even though she's a freshman, since she's 22 years old, she has more experience, and I'm not afraid to ask her, hey, how do you think I need to approach this part of my game?
I've been playing the longest. I've made many mistakes, and I want to prevent others from doing the same.
Definitely more mature on the course, and one of our stronger leaders on the golf course. Maybe a little more confident than some of the younger girls and a little more battle tested, you could say. So she's definitely a leader in the practice rounds and when we're at the tournaments.
I have one win under my college career right now at Kiowa, and I've had 2 PBC Players of the Week in Florida.
She really keeps me on my toes. I just love the girl. It's kind of not a love-hate relationship, but it's one minute it's a high five and the next minute it's, what in the world are you doing? Or what are you thinking? But I love her, and even though she's 22, she is still a little freshman.
I'm a 22-year-old freshman. I feel like my journey has just begun, and I'm excited to see where it takes me.
The baseball team came into the Barton game fresh off of a sweep against Winston-Salem State. Barton came into the game with the upset in mind. However, the Braves took a 2-0 advantage in the third, but Barton cut the deficit in half with the RBI double in the fourth. The Braves were down 1 heading into the bottom of the ninth. Roberto Rivera drew a leadoff walk that would eventually help set up a Luke Jackson 3-run walk-off homer to seal the win. Final score, 9-6. The Braves will be back on the diamond this weekend at Georgia College. The softball team traveled to North Georgia over the weekend to continue PBC play. The Braves led early in both games, but second-ranked North Georgia took advantage of 7 UNCP mistakes to erase the deficits and to knock the Braves off. The Braves lost the first game with a score of 7-3 and lost in the second game with a score of 11-1. This is the 4th straight setback in league play for the Braves, and they will start the PBC slate with 4 losses for the first time since 2007. Braves are back in action next week at Young Harris. The men's and women's track and field team hosted a home meet this past weekend. With 20 event titles and 15 other top 3 finishes, the Braves cruised past the rest of the field. Jenna Cube won 3 event titles on Saturday in the high jump, javelin, and 100-meter hurdles. Newcomer J.C. Smith also won 3 event titles, the 100-meter dash, 200-meter dash, and the long jump. A total of 36 personal bests were registered by both the men's and women's team as they continue to dominate the competition. The team will travel to Mount Olive this week for the 2-day Trojan Challenge. Over the weekend, I covered the Rivals VTO Qualifier Combine at Mallard Creek High School in Charlotte, North Carolina. High school football players from all over the East Coast attended this event in hopes of receiving some national recruiting exposure. Top performers from this event received an invitation to either the Rivals 3-Stripe Camp hosted by Adidas or the VTO Elite 100 Camp in late April. There were over 200 athletes in attendance and only 10 invitations to give out. Needless to say, we had our work cut out for us in determining the invitees. Robertson County was well represented this weekend, having 5 players from Purnell Sweat in attendance: Chandler Brayboy, Paul Oxendine, Matthew Locklear, Rufus Harris, and Joshua Williams. Rams Jr. standout Chandler Brayboy had an exceptional day and was named one of the top 5 wide receivers of the camp. Brayboy received an invitation to the VTO Elite 100 Showcase, which will be held in Durham, North Carolina at Durham County Stadium. Several other local high schools were in attendance as well. Players from Jack Britt, Southview, and Whiteville High School were all out there competing in hopes of earning their stripes. Earlier this week, former East Carolina wide receiver Zay Jones was arrested and charged with felony vandalism. What makes this story so peculiar is that Jones was taped in the nude arguing with his brother, repeatedly saying, "I'm going to fight for Jesus." Jones then breaks free and runs down the hallway and tries to hurl himself out of a window on the 30th floor of a Los Angeles penthouse. Zay Jones is arguably the most decorated receiver in college football history. He is the NCAA all-time reception leader, as well as the record holder to virtually every record at East Carolina. Jones was drafted in the 2nd round of the 2017 NFL Draft by the Buffalo Bills. The organization released a statement saying that they were aware of the incident and will not comment on it at this time. That's it for me. Don't forget to follow my coverage of college football recruiting on Twitter at Dolph_WNCP. Back to the studio.
Thanks, DP. That's all we have time for. We'll be back next week for another episode of Carolina News Today.